Okay, welcome back to CDT everyone, it's me, Ditto, and today I'm going to be reviewing the newest car to CDT, the Porsche 718 Boxster GT4, and it's either called the GT4 or the Boxster Spider. Anyway, this is quite an interesting car because it's effectively the Cayman GT4 RS, which is already in the game and it has been since like 2020, without the roof. It's even got the same design at the front, like, if it didn't have an interior and the roof was up, you couldn't tell if this was a Cayman or a Boxster. Which is why the first Cayman was christened the Cockster by Top Gear. Anyway, I'm going to get into the specs quite quickly. Things you need to know. Is my interior double black? Yeah, double black interior and black wheels for everything. Keep the brake calipers red. And then I like to go for the sort of yellow on the body, but red is also quite nice. And so, actually no, pretty much yellow is the only tasteful colour, which is kind of weird. Although I have heard someone say that actually looks quite nice. A grey car that looks nice. Who thought it? Anyway, let's go and do the first race because I'm rearranging the way I do my review. We're going to be drifting later on. That was amazingly skillful and you can't tell me otherwise. Oh yeah, while I'm revving it, I might as well just... Very quick sound test, but that sounds pretty impressive. We'll do a proper one after this race, but from what I can hear, that's pretty impressive. Anyway, off the line. The pickups, not bad. The handling, though, is really quite impressive. This feels like a really nice car to drive. I'm surprised, actually. Turns well. I'm surprised it turns that well, actually. Not a hint of understeer at all. There is quite a bit of body roll, more than I was expecting. But as for the handling, it actually grips really nicely in the corners. And it's also got a lot of oomph behind it. Like, it almost feels like the gear ratios are too short because of how much acceleration there is compared to the top speed. Not a hint of understeer. It's a very small car. Look, I can fit it in this lane with massive amounts of room. Anyway, a 40.8 second lap time is really quite impressive for a car that's effectively a top end of... Well, it is a top end of Class 2, but most top end of Class 2 cars are effectively just one of the many loads of cars in Class 3 that are all pretty much identical. Like, basically, after the Rolls-Royce Ghost, we have that, this, so the Testarossa, the Mercedes SLS, the GTR, Ferrari 458, Ferrari F8, Ferrari 812, the Dodge Viper ACR. In fact, pretty much all the cars at the bottom of Class 3 are identical. So will this one poke its head above the crowd? Well, it certainly seems that way. First gear is actually not the best, But second and third are really nice. And then fourth and fifth are where things start to get good. Sixth is also really good. And seventh is just there. I'd prefer it if they sort of lengthened the gear ratios and dropped off seventh. But that's how it is in real life. 7-speed PDK. I can't remember what the full word in German is, but I remember it's like 31 letters long or something. It handles exactly the same way as it does at 100, that it does at about 180. And that's really good, because it handles really good at 100. Yeah. Let's try and find a little bit more chassis. Let's try and find somewhere that'll actually use the chassis better. So we're going to do the mountain stuff next. The scenic route, as I call it. Not actually much to report, because on most of the time in the highway race, you're not actually constantly putting in inputs. You're just sort of turning when you have to, rather than constantly fighting the car, learning where to lift off, learning where to properly find the full potential of the car. Because at 180 miles an hour, you've not got anything to worry about. Oh. I have a lot of lag. Woohoo. Yeah. Come on then. This is going to be good. I get the feeling that it's just going to be the same as all the other Class 2, bottom of Class 3 cars. Yep, 119. That's where they all go. Between 117 and 120. Anyway, I want to go to the mountains now, because this car, as you can see, has a very nice chassis. I need a new update with loads of cars for a limited shop, because I've got nothing to spend my money on. Yeah, this feels good. This feels really good. The way it handles is sublime. Just effortlessly flowing from corner to corner, loads of feedback. Oh, you are shitting me. Look at this. No bother from the tyres at all. Suspension, perfectly fine. This is easy. This is really easy to drive. This is a car that you would actually do well to learn how to drive properly with. Just want to do the bump test quickly, then we're going to try and roll it. Here comes the bump test. Pretty much nothing, apart from obviously the wheelie at the front. Right, rolling. Well, it drifted. The back did, as a matter of fact, come out. Why is my phone lagging so much? I've put it on automatic graphic quality. Right, come on, let's go. Turn left. Oh, turn right even. Turn right. Literally nothing. Nothing from the chassis at all. This has really good suspension. In fact, it's not rolling as much as I said earlier. I'm not sure why. It's probably because the back end looks a bit weird on this car. It's too tall and thick. They need to make it much more delicate, like the old Boxsters. Right, proper sound test. That sounds brilliant. Proper 4-litre Nat Asp flat 6. Yeah, it's really good. Right, come on. This is where we test the Boxster properly. The mountains are a really good place for all-round testing. You've got long straights, difficult corners, proper, what are they called? Adverse camber braking points. No, that's not what I meant. Inclined braking points where you're braking down an incline change, which sort of unsettles the car massively. It's a very good place for all-round testing, as I have just mentioned, but I'm repeating myself because I've forgotten what I was going to say. Anyway, the car. Well, it feels brilliant up here. I have just missed that. And yet the suspension took it perfectly. No bother at all. This is such an easy car to drive. It's silly. Like, just randomly. You can pretty much turn this into any corner at any speed and it will be fine. It's a good way of learning how to drive fast. And the brakes are magnificent despite the fact you don't need them. Turn through here. Just a slight bit of braking through there because that's how you drive it everywhere else. 134.7. I'm pretty sure I went through the green at 134, but alright. That's still a really good time. And now what we're going to do, we're going to drift it at the circuit because I think I'm going to start drifting at the circuit more because it's such a good circuit to drift on. You've got good 90-degree corners, what am I saying? Good corners to drift on, pretty flat apart from the banked sections. It's really good. Okay, little loss of skill there. See, that was a really consistently controlled drift. See that? This car is good in lots of corners because in the city you're just driving it in 90-degree corners rather than on this where you can do 180 degrees or just the big long sweepers. Okay, what I am noticing is the back is kind of heavy, but then you can just sort of slowly bring it to heel. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but quite quickly you'll find it's a pretty easy thing to do. Oh my god, I still can't get that chicane right. Although every so often it will just randomly spin out. But then we come to a corner like this, and it's perfect. It prefers the longer corners. Right, let's go over to the actual race now. Circuito. Actually, no, we do the oval first because it's going to be better on the circuit. Obviously, it's a track car. As made more obvious by the front splitter, this sectioned rear diffuser, and the weight saving details. This is all carbon fibre, you can see. Let's go. Oh yeah, I've got a new mask. Doesn't it look amazing? Hehehe. Right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. This is already going to be boring, isn't it? There's going to be absolutely nothing to report or watch. It feels quite loose in these bank turns, actually. It's weird. I don't like it. I want it to be back on the circuit, you know, doing proper stuff. But no, we're driving round a big bowl that I would rather not be doing, but you know, got to put it to some use. This is tiring. So boring. I just can't wait to get it back on the circuit, back in its element, doing fun stuff like track driving. And then we do the drag race, and then we just do some cinematic shots of the tuned version, doing some slidey. Okay, so one thing I am noticing is... Yeah, I'm noticing nothing. You all got your hopes up then, didn't you? Just skip past this. You've got another, like, 20 seconds anyway. Slight bit of bouncing going on in the back end, and that's the most interesting thing to happen all this race. Single player oval racing is not fun. Let's just hit a handbrake turn. Damn. Anyway, circuit. Circuito. Biscuit. I'm slowly losing my mind because of that oval racing. I need to get back into my element. I tend to have mine on lowered suspension. And also I saw, what was it I saw one with the other day? A chassis wing. Not the other day, I mean yesterday. Chassis wing. Don't do it. This car has a perfectly fine set of wheels and wing. By which I mean it has no wing. Don't change that. Let's go. Oh, I turned in too soon because I'm used to driving cars that handle worse than it. It's dependable. I just went through that without lifting. I shouldn't have done that in a normal car. But in a car like this, you can. Right, brake, turn through. Putting a lot of trust into this car because it gives you a lot of trust. If you go wide enough in the entrance, it will pretty much go through most corners without you having to lift, apart from this one. Because you can't, like, go through the chicane flat out. At least it's very difficult to. This is such an easy car to drive. I reckon, you know, my cat could drive this. Just perfectly going through these corners. Keeping pretty much full acceleration. Because, well, what's the reason? What even is the reason to lift in this car? There is none. Well, that was much faster through there. We could be on for a real belter of a time. Okay, I braked at the wrong point in that corner. And I turned in too early for that one. Full power. Okay, I went in a bit too wide because I was thinking of other cars that trail brake better. But you don't need to trail brake because this thing has infinite grip. Look at the vibrations from the front when you go up to the top of the oval. 38.5. Holy moly. That's really quick. That is incredibly quick. I was not expecting it to be that quick. I struggled to set that in much faster Class 1 cars. Class 3 cars. Like the Ferrari F40. Even when it's tuned. What even is the handling rating for it? 7.7? That low? Excuse me, what now? Right. And finally, the half-mile drag race, which is, there's no point in doing it because I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be like, hi, it's so slow in the half-mile. It doesn't matter. This is the best learner driver's car there is. You can learn to drive in this really easily. And I mean drive fast. But I wouldn't call it a learner driver's car because that's sort of defacing it. Oh, look at this angle. It looks like a Cayman. What a surprise that is. Wow, that was slow in the half-mile. But don't worry, we can fix that. Because it's NatAsp, it's a massive acceleration boost. That's moving at the speed of light. And now we're at the end of the review. I am going to carry on driving this car. I feel like I might start dailying it. Or at least the tuned version. I just crashed. I'm such an idiot. Because this is a really, really nice car. It has character. I wasn't talking about it during the review. But it has an amazing amount of character. It's so dependable and faithful. You can pretty much send it into any corner at any speed and just be chill. I still can't drift that corner. And because it's got all that grip, you can learn to drive fast in it. And then when you're done, you can do this. Drift it. This is so fun. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the Cayman. It's not the Cayman, it's a Boxster. They're the same car, but alright. Ugh. Maybe I need to get better at drifting. Goodbye. Woohoo!